Lagos State has since its creation 35 years ago grown to become Nigeria's most buoyant state. Its progress, development and growth emanates both from its dynamism as the nation's commercial and cultural melting pot, as well as the commendable foresight of its government. Over time, the state has continuously occupied an enviable status among other states, proudly displaying various prominent characteristics that distinguishes it from the remaining administrative and political units that make up Nigeria. Though the smallest in the federation, it is the most densely populated, presently accommodating over 15 million people, a reasonable percentage of the nation's total population. This has marked out the rate of population growth in the state as the highest in the country. In spite of the multifarious environmental problems created by this high population density, more and more Nigerians and foreigners alike still troop into Lagos every day. This influx of people into the state has placed a very high demand on the existing infrastructures, thereby stretching them beyond capacity. At the dawn of the present democratic administration in Nigeria, many of these infrastructures, such as electricity, roads and water, were in dire need of rehabilitation, not only because they were already overstretched, but also due to the lopsided and unplanned nature of urban growth and the prevalence of illegal structures and shanties. One major implication of this problem is the increasing financial responsibility which the state has had to bear, in spite of other areas it needs to put forth the dividends of democracy. But as it were, the more the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration has committed itself to improving these infrastructures, the more there has seemed to be need for more. The reasons are not far-fetched. The over-concentration of people within the metropolis, as well as the daily influx of people mentioned earlier. The birth of the New Towns Development Authority, Ntda, therefore, was born out of great necessity. Firstly, it was meant to develop new settlements through which the clustered Lagos metropolis could be decongested.
And the purpose of it is to develop new towns and to provide infrastructural facilities in those new towns throughout the Lagos state. And is also to hold, manage, develop houses when it was established. That was the function of the authority when it was established.
Secondly, it was a direct attempt to reduce the stress on infrastructures in the new settlements, which would normally lead to the reduction in the number of people using the existing ones. And thirdly, it was also meant to promote the establishment or existence of habitable settlements within the state. Simply put, the authority was created to manage and efficiently utilize available land resources in the state. By doing so, it could effectively program, accelerate and monitor the opening up and development of commercial, industrial and residential schemes.
So many new towns have been created. We have Hamuward of a new town, we have Lake Peninsula scheme, and we have Ipaja area, Ipaja new towns, and so many other new towns have been created by Ntda.
Considering the population in Lagos State, how far has Ntda gone in meeting the needs of the senior population?
Yes, I think we have gone so far, because I told you we have new towns in Ipaja, we have in Badagry area, we have in Ikorodu, we have in Lekki scheme, and throughout the state So I think we have catered for all cadres of low, high, and medium income people in Lagos State.
Presently, the functions of the New Towns Development Authority have been rearranged and reformed, a development which has made the authority refocused for better performance and efficient service delivery. The reform has now led to the development of schemes in all parts of the state. Other areas of functions include: 1. Provision of infrastructural facilities in government estates. 2. Promotion of large-scale physical developments through the construction of road networks within the schemes and estates to facilitate early development of land by developers. 3. Site selection, undertaking reconnaissance survey and selection of sites for government projects. And 4. Development control, monitoring of priority estates to bring illegal developments and excavation of sand or laterite within the estates to the notice of the Development Control Division. In spite of the enormous challenges confronting it, the authority's numerous achievements since 1981 speaks eloquently of its importance and relevance in the state. As at 1999, it has developed over 20 schemes which include: 1. Magodo Residential Phase 1 and 2. 2. Ogba Residential Scheme. 3. Omoli Residential Phase 1 and 2. 4. Ikota Resettlement Scheme. 5. Ojota Residential Scheme, and several others. Under the present administration, the activities of the authority have been expanded and accelerated to quickly develop schemes and provide necessary facilities that hinder occupation of such schemes by allottees. As a result, enormous resources have been channeled into development of schemes and provision of infrastructural facilities such as road network, electricity and pipe-borne water in different schemes being developed by the authority. In line with the administration's objective, different schemes are divided on income basis and developed accordingly. Thus, the New Towns Development Authority schemes cover the low, the medium, and the high income groups.
Actually, we have 3 categories of schemes. We have for low income, that is the Paja area. Then we have for medium income, we have in Oronshoki area, Magodo, Omale. Then we have for the high income in Lekki corridor here. So I would say Ntda caters for all categories of income.
As a test of its commitment of this administration to the provision of infrastructure in all government schemes, the authority in 2004 completed the construction of 1.7-kilometer network of roads and 350 meters water drain in Okwoba Scheme 3. Due to the class of the project and how dearly the administration has placed the middle and low-income groups, the state government subsidized the capital development levy paid by allottees by over 5,000%. And this project was commissioned in April 2004. Also in Magodo GRA scheme, 1.91-kilometer length of road was completed in 2004, while 1.1 kilometer and 380 meters were equally completed in Omole Phase 1 and Okwoba Scheme 1, respectively. Furthermore, construction of additional roads is ongoing in such schemes as Okwoba Scheme 1, which has 3.1 kilometers. There is also 560 meters in Okwoba Scheme 2, 9.2 kilometers in Isheri North, 500 meters in Ikorodu GRA Scheme 3, and 1.2-kilometer network of roads in Ikorodu GRA Scheme 3. It would also be recalled that Lekki Peninsula Scheme 2 has received considerable attention in this regard. With a land area of about 566 square kilometers, it was designed in 1995 as one of the schemes meant to open up the Lekki Peninsula corridor of the state and decongest the Lagos metropolitan area. In June 2002, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu commissioned 11-kilometer network of roads to serve 529 residential plots and 1 nursery and primary school site in the scheme.
I am indeed very happy and proud to be here today to commission this road. My heart has been filled with warmth, joy of achievement. Our commitment when you came to office is to serve all communities. We have a blueprint. Today, what is my joy about? This particular road, since 1995 that this scheme was planned, administrations after administration of Lagos State has more or less run away for it. Those who planned it has abandoned it. But with serious commitment, determination, and appropriate fund management, we completed the road network in 18 months at a total contract sum of 424.4 million. Without variation, without missing point. Once again, I congratulate the contractor.
Glory of God Almighty, to continue service to humanity and improvement to the life of our people. I declare this Lekki Scheme 2
Similarly, an additional 9.4 kilometers network of roads, which further provides standard access for 356 allottees of this scheme, was commissioned by Asiwaju Tinubu again in December 2003. To further complement the completed road projects earlier mentioned, this administration further awarded a contract for the construction of water supply and distribution network to the northern portion of the scheme. Handled by Messrs. Tri-T Engineering Services Limited, the project also includes the provision of a mini water works to supply 1 million gallons of water per day, drilling of 2 boreholes with 60 horsepower submersible pumps, a 250 kVA generating set, and a 1,500 kVA transformer.
The contract for the water supply and distribution network to the northern portion of the scheme, which is being commissioned today, was awarded in November 2002. to Mrs. Tri-T Engineering Services Limited at a contract sum of 520 million naira. The project includes the provision of a mini water works to supply 1.5 million gallons of water per day, the drilling of 2 boreholes with 60 horsepower submersible pumps, a 250 kVA generating set, and one 500 kVA transformer. Furthermore, it includes a treatment plant and all necessary auxiliary facilities, coupled with the laying of 25-kilometer network of distribution pipes. In addition to the water project, the contract for the supply of electricity and internal reticulation to the northern portion of the scheme was also awarded by this administration in November 2002. The project is almost completed. In line with this administration's efforts in promoting private sector participation and to make life even more comfortable for the allottees of this scheme, a proposal for the maintenance of the water works and a stress-free connection of water to individual plots within the scheme has been submitted to the authority. This is being studied.
In addition to the water project, the installation of electrical facilities and internal reticulation to the northern portion of the scheme is fast ongoing. In fact, considerable progress has been recorded in this regard. Moreover, Abijo GRA scheme also has numerous road and drainage projects under construction. Similarly, the administration is already making moves to increase the number of network of roads to be completed in this scheme. Despite these enormous achievements, the New Towns Development Authority faces considerable challenges, especially in terms of late payment of capital development levy by allottees. Since it is meant to develop infrastructure, this has led to delay in timely completion of needed infrastructures within the scheme.
The water supply that we are commissioning today will serve the allottees of this project in this scheme. Electricity is ready. All we need to do is energize it. Drainage is being done. That is what I call development. For people to have access and value for their money. But what they must warn the allottees about, I've given enough subsidy to you all. We've advertised those who didn't pay and who have not paid. Get payment to the Ntda Ministry of Lands, or you lose the plot. We are serious about it. There's no way I will continue to subsidize the rich and deny the poor. There's no way I can pay for your infrastructure, continue to pay for the infrastructure of rich people in the rich area. This is a rich area. Any individual that can pay 2 million for a plot of land is a rich person. Because the poor are still looking for a total cost of a house around 500,000 they haven't got it. So I can't continue to subsidize you. If you don't want to frog jump to your plot and you don't want to lose it, pay up for the capital development. I've drawn the line, no more butter and milk and free lunch.
Non-payment of capital development levy by allottees, because one thing is to have the plot of land, another thing is to provide the infrastructural facilities. Since government land, the amount you are paying for government land includes all these facilities. So we need money. And I'm appealing to people to understand that if you go to private people, like the so-called Omonile, it's only you are paying for the land. You will go back and pay for the survey, go back and pay for the legal fees. Then, when you want to obtain the CFO, you go back to government and pay for the CFO. So, the people, they should understand and pay up on time.
There is no doubt that the support, motivation and unreserved commitment of the present administration to providing a livable environment for its teeming population in Lagos have been critical to the success of the authority. The administration's finances have been of great help to the authority, particularly in areas where allottees default to pay due levies. Indeed, the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration continues to demonstrate a good sense of responsibility and responsiveness. Again, without doubt, the enormous resources and commitment already expended into the development of new towns and settlements schemes through the New Towns Development Authority is a testimony of the administration's yearnings to provide good living conditions for the people of Lagos State. With the success recorded so far, coupled with the sheer enthusiasm, commitment and zeal of the Ntda, and most importantly, the support of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, comfortable, affordable, and enviable living standard awaits Lagosians.
Our vision is for Ntda to be more expanded and to be given more responsibilities, and we are praying that with God on our side, Ntda will be taken to the highest level, and sky is the limit.
Moreover, campaign for a total freedom from lack of essential basic needs of life, like food, clothing, and shelter, continues to hold sway. Some, rather than have hope in future, tend to believe that nothing good can come out of governance, since the signs of poverty has been there a long while in the continent. To many, any nation that is still striving for survival and craving to meet up with these needs is considered a backward nation. The issue of poverty is assuming greater proportion in the lives of people. Constitutionally, these basic needs of life are the rights of the citizenry. The question is, does the country have any future without concrete social and economic security programs for the people to improve their standard of living? Statistics have shown that over 70% of the masses are living below the poverty line, and women constitute the greater proportion in this bracket. Strikingly, as an integral part of human existence, women constitute about half of the world's population, and a responsible and responsive administration must strive for means to empower this substantial and essential group to be productive and employable so that they can contribute their quota to the development of the economy. Recognizing this, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu administration has accorded priority attention to issues of poverty and thus consciously working towards the progress of women in Lagos State. Events in the past 6 years is a further indication that the attainment of sustainable economic growth and development in all ramifications, especially for women, remains the focus and attention of this administration. In the last 1 year, 99 students received training in different vocations in Ekpe and Ikorodu centers. The centers, which are registered with the National Business and Technical Examination Board, NAPTEB, had 40 and 23 registered for the examinations in Ekpe and Ikorodu. With NAPTEB students, stand the chance of being admitted into higher institutions of learning in the country. The Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation is not relenting in its efforts to combat poverty. It also has a poultry center which is situated in Badagry with the aim of imparting poultry skill. It involves in the preparation and transforming of clay bodies of different sizes and shapes, while they are composed for suitable production of ceramic decorations. As a training center for the art of pottery, students on industrial work scheme and officers of local education authority, Badagry, have been taking advantage of the center. Quite a few have benefited from the center. Again, as a part of the ministry's efforts are reorientating and training to impart skills with the women folk can utilize to make them self-reliant and improve their standard of living, it conducts a 2-week skill acquisition program for grassroots women aimed at achieving these objectives. The program is not only well conceived, but also designed and packaged to involve women from all 5 divisions of the state, namely Lagos, Ikeja, Badagry, Ikorodu, and Epe. They will be trained in various skills such as hair braiding and weaving, tie and dye, balloon and flower decoration, small chops, cassava utilization, soap and pomade making, including personal motivational talks on hygiene and business management. On the 16th of March 2004, Her Excellency Chief Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, First Lady of Lagos State, flagged off the maidens edition of the Skill Acquisition Program for Women in Ikeja Division of the state at the Lagos State Day Care Center, Alausa. It was a reflection of total commitment to uplifting a vast majority of women. It was so successful that the second phase attracted more women trainees that the ministry could cope with.
That the incidence of poverty is more prevalent among women, especially the majority who reside in the rural areas. This unfortunate situation is not a result of laziness or lack of zeal on the part of women to be productive and self-reliant, but because of inadequate opportunities. Nigerian women rank among the most hardworking and enterprising not only in the continent but in the entire world. A visit to our major markets and farms in the rural area will confirm this assertion. The relevant question we need to ask at this point is, why are women poor and unable to contribute their full potentials to the economy? The answer is very simple. Majority of women, especially those in the grassroots, are largely uneducated and lack the necessary wherewithal and skills to enhance their earning capacity. It is therefore most heartwarming that the state government, through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, is providing this opportunity as a key component of its policy of poverty alleviation. I'm reliably informed that this program, which is being executed in 5 divisions of the state, will be all-embracing, with emphasis on training of women to acquire skills in the areas of hairdressing, catering, balloon decoration, tie and dye, soap making, petroleum jelly production, custard making, starch production, and flower arrangements, amongst others. I am also delighted to know that on completion of this training program, participants will be supported through microcredit in form of equipment and machines towards starting their own businesses.
Today, about 5,400 women have been successfully trained in various skills, while certificates of attendance were presented to them at the completion of the training program at each division. Importantly, this program is targeted at training more than 10,000 women, and on completion of the training, it will enable the women to become self-employed and self-reliant while improving their standard of living, hence reducing the poverty level. Furthermore, the provision of credit facilities is another way the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation has encouraged women. Revolving loan scheme is one of the most important components of poverty alleviation program, since most women lack the financial resources to actualize their economic ideas and dreams and impact positively on their standard of living and growth of the economy. This scheme is said to afford them easy access to relatively inexpensive funds to be provided by the state government for the establishment of cottage and small-scale income-generating projects.
Tried for us because this thing, I thought it's something that will be so difficult for me. Since when I come, this is the 15th. Everything, when we want to go out for wedding, when they charge us about 25,000, 50,000, this is what we come and learn free of charge. I thank God and I thank God will bless them. And what I want to do, I want to establish myself. Immediately I finish here and buy the material by God's grace, and I will establish myself. For this, I will not forget them because I didn't pay any cover to learn it. I'm very grateful. So interesting. It's a very great program indeed. I've enjoyed it. It has been interesting. I want to also give kudos to our Commissioner for Women Affairs, our Chief Mrs. Joke Akifure, for this program. It's a success, and I pray that everything continues to be successful in Jesus' name. And I also, from henceforth, I will continue to practice because practice is the same makes perfect. I know for these 2 weeks I've gained a lot of experiences, but when I get home, I want to go and establish, buy materials on my own, and continue to decorate.
Ṣé rí gómìnà wa wọ́n ṣe lé wọ́n ṣàṣeyege lórí ẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ wo ní jóná wọn ò ní ṣubú dànù. Ṣé rí gbogbo àwa tá a mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ decoration àti mọ deco o gbogbo ẹ̀ láti mọ o gbogbo rẹ̀ ń ṣe ló ń gbọ́ ló wà lórí o kò sì jáde mọ́ Olúwa máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ wọ́n máa lọ síwájú iwájú ni. Lẹ́yìn èyí ìyàwó wọn Olúrẹ̀mí èyí jábọ́ lẹ́yìn ìyá rẹ̀ wọ́n máa lọ síwájú ni. Ẹgbàá wà o ẹgbàá rẹ̀ mi o mo wá jọ láwọn ní kò dùn o iléeṣẹ́ wọn ò ní jóná bó ṣe sọ ìmọ̀ àrí bẹ́ẹ̀.
It's been a great experience for me because they taught us many things. For example, they taught us how to do apron, Vaseline, and different types of soap.
In addition to this, Ikorodu Poultry Farm and Piggery and Abia Agricultural Farm were established to serve as training ground for women and school leavers who may wish to earn their living from farming activities. One fact to drive home is that individual resourcefulness is the best approach to arresting the present level of poverty among women in the state. Women have been given the opportunity by acquiring the skills being taught by the competent resource personnel, put the skills into good use, and thereby provide themselves with stable and reliable sources of income. Presently, arrangements are being made to form the trained women into cooperatives and set up a monitoring group to advise women on the success of their different trades.
A day in which we can assess the level of poverty, to have the survey of, the impact, to know the impact that the policy or program has reflected on our people, and of course to coordinate the different programs, the different policies relating to that, relating to poverty, to be able to get it together and see how far we have gone, where are we going, and what is left to be done.
Apart from economic empowerment, the ministry also involves health facilitation. In order to create the necessary awareness and educate women on the devastating effect of breast cancer, a 5-day breast cancer awareness campaign program for women was organized in each 5 divisions of the state. Free breast examination and removal of cancerous lump was carried out. Women were trained on how to carry out self-breast examination for early detection of the disease.
We have reports from the field that it's on the high side for the breast cancer program. I mean, the cancerous lump is being recorded on our youngest from 16 years upward. So we have to go to the secondary school and campus to sensitize them, to carry out breast examination on them. You know, to remove the lump is free in Lagos State, courtesy of our governor. So we are going to start that in the next 1 month. We go to the secondary school, and of course the Polytechnic of Lagos State and the Lagos State University, to sensitize our young girls, carry out some tests on them, and of course to provide the medical treatment free.
Women living with HIV/AIDS are not left out from benefiting from the programs. They can join other women in acquiring different skills that will be of immense benefit and give them equal opportunity rather than see themselves outcast. As part of the activities marking the International Women's Day celebration, the 8th of March every year is set aside for women to participate and deliberate on matters affecting them. The theme of year 2000 was 30 years of United Nations efforts to promote gender equality. The governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was present at the International Women's Day celebration, and he emphasized that women have great roles to play in the society. They should be mentally alert at all times and having the responsibility to be the keeper of their homes.
Many of you lost your husbands, your children to that struggle. Many of you are victimized in your places of work, or marginalized in your work as society because they believe our own Nigeria deserves a democratic, civil, and liberal and republican society where the rights of each citizen shall be protected, where the dignity of human being will be respected. As people who have invested so much to achieve this democracy, it is political for you to raise your voice when the system you have labored to build actively marginalizes you. the living condition of our women. A nation that constantly produces poor women, a system that perpetually recycles miserable women cannot claim to be civilized or a developed form. A system, such a system, will head for a collapse. This conclusion is obvious because of the central role you women play in the society. You are the one who carries your 9 months in pregnancy. You feed 2 persons at the same time or 3. Therefore, there's no way a malnourished pregnant woman can give a mentally alarmed baby. Because there's no way that a woman who is unemployed and living in February afford to die to nurture pregnancy from beginning to childbirth. The society has given the women so much responsibility, multifaceted and classic. Allowing them to be the keeper of their homes, the guiding agents for our children, to raise our child, to learn, to be the nanny, and to be the cook, to be the teacher, and equally regular contributor to the family's budget.
To this end, various reasons have been attributed to the problems of women and children in poverty. It is quite obvious that in the past years, the Tinubu's administration has taken giant strides for the reduction of poverty in the state. This administration will continue to vigorously pursue those programs that are not only in line with the state government's policy thrust of poverty alleviation and sustainable economic growth, but more so, greater emphasis will be placed on programs that will bring quicker development to women as well as development and remain focused on the strives towards women empowerment. The visionary, able and ever committed governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has always been in the forefront in the resolve to attain full development of the women folk. With all sense of purpose, especially in view of the priority placed on poverty alleviation programs, activities have picked up greatly in the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. To the generality of women, they should always endeavor to pay attention to the children as they grow, since women and children constitute the majority of the society and they are the leaders of tomorrow. They should be mentally and physically prepared for the challenges ahead by not allowing engagement in gainful economic activities submerge these wholesome responsibility. It is so clear that this administration has reached directly to those to be uplifted. The administration will be proudly remembered for embarking on all the core programs of poverty alleviation and saying to the needs of the masses in all aspects.
You are all by now conversant with the content of our free health policy. The ministry has, in the last 1 year, continued to maintain and expand the free treatment of malaria, tuberculosis, and leprosy in all our public health facilities throughout the state. Children below 12 years of age and adults above 60 years were and will continue to be treated free during the year under review. By extension, patients who required overseas medical treatment not available in the country were given necessary financial support where possible. The hospital aspect of this service is available in all the state-owned secondary and tertiary health facilities. Indeed, during the year of 2004, almost 150 million naira was expended on this program. The state government also expended a total of 137 million as sponsorship for treatment abroad in respect of those patients and citizens whose cases could not be effectively handled within the country. Because of these huge amounts, His Excellency has directed, and we have indeed started improving and increasing our capacity, particularly in our teaching hospital, to ensure that many of these cases can be tackled in-house. In the course of this briefing, I will let you know on the new vistas and levels that we have attained in our healthcare delivery. During the year under review, a total amount of 11.5 million was expended on local medical reforms to those patients who were meant to have benefited from the free health scheme but somehow paid on their own. Their monies were refunded. It is expected that the responsible and responsive government will be alive to the health needs of our citizenry, most especially the members of staff. Our free health services, therefore, is also targeted at the civil servants, their spouses, and 4 children below age of 18. Surgical, medical, and other auxiliary treatments, as well as antenatal clinics for their pregnant women. I'm happy to inform you that during the year under review, a total of 16,794 civil servants, their spouses, and children benefited from this program. The eco-free malaria treatment for all patients, regardless of their socio-economic background, is an integral aspect of this free health policy. A total of 287,000 patients received treatment under this program during the period under review. One of the strategies of the health sector reform agenda is the revitalization of the primary health care system. As a first step to implementing this, the free malaria treatment scheme was extended to all local government areas of the state by our sending free malaria as well as antenatal drugs to all our primary health centers on a monthly basis to be given to patients in their neighborhood free of charge. And I want to seize the opportunity to implore the media to help us educate our masses at home that they should now begin to have confidence in their primary health centers. Free health drugs are now available in all primary health centers all over Lagos State. People should no longer pass by their primary health centers assuming it is still business as usual. It is not. The drugs are there. And I dare to say that any primary health center that does not have drugs, particularly malaria drugs, to give you free of charge, it means the supervisor for health, the medical officer for health, and the chairman of that council did not come to collect the drugs. If they come, they are to be given free of charge for the use of the communities. Even their community members are now empowered to form management committees for those primary health centers to monitor the use of those drugs. As an expansion of this free health policy and the poverty alleviation program of this state administration, new programs were established by the ministry last year. Some of these include as follows. the Limb Deformity Reconstructive and Rehabilitation Program, or popularly called the Polio Corrective Surgery Program. The aim of this program is to correct various forms of limb deformity, both upper and lower limbs, with an objective to improving the quality of life of those people afflicted with this problem. This was achieved through physiotherapy, surgery, provision of calipers and mobility aids, walking sticks, crutches, and so on. Last year, over 800 patients were screened, out of which almost 100 were successfully operated free of charge and rehabilitated at absolutely no cost to them, including laboratory tests, x-rays, and so on and so forth were done for them free of charge. Apart from the screening and surgery, they were all done free of charge. Furthermore, over 200 were referred for physiotherapy, and they are undergoing physiotherapy again free of charge. A large number also received calipers and crutches. Indeed, many of them have publicly expressed and affirmed the radical improvement in their lifestyle. For instance, children who could not go to school because of their limb deformities are already back in school, happy, and their parents and families very happy. In fact, because of the success of this program last year, the outing for this year, which commenced in February, has so far recorded a much larger turnout of patients. I wish at this junction to let you know that at the last screening, almost 3,000 patients were screened, and we have over 1,500 patients lined up for surgery. Presently, the first batch of surgery were concluded yesterday. In the course of next month, the second phase of surgeries will again be done, and we shall continue to clear them in the course of the year. Every month, we shall be clearing month by month all those cases that need to be operated in the polio corrective surgery program. A total of 6,880 patients were clinically screened. Of these, 626 were treated and discharged, while almost 500 were operated upon for various surgical pains, including goiter, hernia, fibroid, breast lumps, and so on and so forth. As a fallout of this exercise, even 127 patients who could not be attended to during that mission were sent to one of our general hospitals, and they've all been completely operated free of charge. Open heart surgery. In the same vein, and for the first time in the history of any state administration in Nigeria, free open heart surgery was carried out by another group of Nigerian heart surgeons led by Dr. Jonathan Nwilo, based in the United States of America. Indeed, as a fallout of this mission, the surgeons, in addition to their expertise, which they donated free of charge, donated medical equipment and instruments and consumables worth over 100 million to the state before their departure. The role played by the emergency medical service of the State Ministry of Health cannot be overemphasized. Located within the General Hospital Lagos and Latu Ikeja, the two outfits have continued to give free treatment to patients within the first 24 hours of admission. This policy of the government greatly helped in the management of emergency cases within the year. A total of over 26,000 accident and emergency victims were assisted, out of which only 324 died, which is about 10%. About 1%, sorry. About 1%. While 22,800 were treated as outpatients. Latambo. The impact of Lagos State Ambulance Service, another wonderful initiative of this administration, involved in the rescue operations of patients needing emergency services, continue to be felt throughout the year. Victims rescued include those involved not only in road traffic accidents, but even in gunshots, domestic accidents and collapsed buildings, fire, and so on and so forth. In all, a total of about 16,000 victims were rescued during the period under review. This figure includes about 6,000 road traffic accidents and 591 motorcycle accident cases, 144 assault cases, and over 100 other medical emergency cases were handled. In an attempt at expanding and enhancing these operations, the state government procured and commissioned 10 additional mobile intensive care unit ambulances. 10 more units will be delivered very soon. These mobile intensive care units are equipped as if they are mobile hospitals, complete mobile hospitals that have all the necessary gadgets as life sustenance and life revival. Furthermore, training programs are organized on a continuous basis for all the staff of the unit. Plans are underway to remodel this program into a proper emergency and trauma system, which will include upgrading of the facilities. Local government areas will also soon get incorporated.
Social welfare services. The ministry, through the Social Welfare Department, provides social welfare services to the vulnerable members of the society, i.e. disadvantaged groups, notably the disabled, poor, orphans, abandoned children, destitute, and the aged. This is done by providing institutional care, rehabilitation services, and counseling services. This becomes very necessary, especially in a cosmopolitan area where there are different shades of people seeking to benefit from the economic buoyancy of the state. It is pertinent to know that Lagos State during its inception was conceived to accommodate 5 million inhabitants, but today we have over 15 million residents. We have, however, been able to do a lot of damage control and reduce social upheaval in the state through articulate social welfare programs. Presently, we maintain 12 social welfare institutions with well over 4,000 residents. These institutions are remand homes. Remand homes are transit camps for homeless children and deviant juveniles who need corrective training and re-socialization to make them better citizens. They accommodate 3 categories of children, i.e. children beyond parental control, lost but found children, and young juvenile offenders whose cases are pending in court. Approved schools. These schools offer corrective training to juvenile and wards in an effort to make them better citizens. The wards in the homes are either sponsored for formal education outside the home or undergo vocational training in the home. They remain in the custody of the state government till they are 18 years, except in cases where they are fostered or adopted by foster and adoptive parents. There are 3 approved schools: Girls Approved School, Idiaraba, Junior Boys Approved School, Yaba, and Senior Boys Approved School, Isheri. Rehabilitation and Training Center, Majidun. The center rehabilitates beggars, destitute, lunatics, and drug addicts. It offers vocational training in tailoring, carpentry, tie and dye, shoemaking, fiber work, cane work, and animal husbandry. There are over 702 residents in this center. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is pertinent to say that the government is making a tremendous success in the area of rehabilitation of mentally derailed people. The ministry is working in conjunction with local government authorities in the state on the apprehension and rehabilitation of ferocious lunatics in their communities. Vocational Training Center for Disabled, Owutu. This center was established with the purpose of making physically challenged people become self-reliant and economically viable through vocational training in trades such as woodwork, tailoring, leatherwork, etc. After the period of training, graduates are assisted with working tools. There are 45 residents in this institution. There is therefore the need for members of the public to take full advantage of this center by sponsoring idle, physically challenged people to the Center for Capacity Building. We should look beyond the present common practice of giving physically challenged people insignificant arms that keep them on the streets. but rather promote activities that will empower them to be productive and self-reliant. Destitute Camp Okobaba. This institution serves as an abode for destitute and beggars. It is a place where members of the public can go to offer alms to the beggars. The center was established with the aim of getting beggars off our streets in order to contain their nuisance value on the environment and public in general. To this end, the Lagos State government provided them with tools for vocational skills with a view to making them self-reliant. There are over 2,000 residents in this institution. The ministry has commenced radio and television jingles to sensitize beggars on the need to embrace capacity building programs in our various vocational training centers. The ministry wishes to use this opportunity to reiterate government's commitment to reduce and eventually eradicate the issue of street begging on our major highways. Rehabilitation and Skill Acquisition Center at Tekunle Island. The center serves as rehabilitation ground for drug addicts, also known as area boys, and economic destitute. It has a detoxification unit for drug addicts before the commencement of thorough rehabilitation and skill acquisition training in tailoring, carpentry, shoemaking, snailry, poultry, and fishing. It has the capacity to accommodate over 200 residents. The center is to be provided with recreational facilities in the areas of basketball, table tennis, handball, wrestling, and boxing in order to rechannel the energies of the more aggressive rehabilitees. It is noteworthy to allay the apprehension of Lagosians that only certified drug addicts will be taken to Tekunle. The ministry has initiated a screening system that would ensure that law-abiding juvenile, destitute, and job seekers who are apprehended during mass raiding, especially at night, by the Environmental and Special Offences Enforcement Units, are released promptly. Registration, monitoring, and support to non-governmental organizations. The Social Welfare Department registers, monitors, and supports private social welfare institutions with logistics to enable them function optimally. The department has registered 22 private social welfare institutions. 2 are under probation, while a lot of others have applied for registration and are being considered. I want to disclose that 9 of these private social welfare institutions are orphanages. However, in January 2005, our ministry, through the Social Welfare Department, gave 16 registered voluntary welfare organizations a total sum of 600,000 naira. And this year again, another sum of 0.6 million naira has been earmarked to be shared among registered social welfare institutions in the state, and helps in inculcating in our youth necessary skills, aptitude, and attitude, such that they can prudently and adequately utilize the resources and opportunities available to them for their own good and betterment of the society. This it does through various educational programs in the form of workshops, seminars, and conferences. Some of the educational programs held within the past years include population education, reproductive health workshop. This is aimed at educating our youth about the dangers of indiscriminate and unprotected sex, such as sexually transmitted diseases and unwanted pregnancy. It also counsels our youth on the need to bring about a manageable nuclear family commensurate to their income when they eventually get married in the future. In this way, it will help in guiding against various social problems occasioned by existing social facilities that have been overstretched. Youth anti-drug campaign. The Youth Development Department of the Ministry, through its Drug Abuse Control Committee, goes around schools and other places where there is a concentration of youth to educate them on the dangers and negative consequences of drug abuse and addiction. In order to make the campaign more effective, plans are presently on the way to utilize the mass media in intensifying this campaign.
A major dividend of democracy of this administration is the establishment of the Lekki Free Trade Zone. At the moment, the federal government has approved and declared 1,000 hectares of land for the scheme. The Lagos State government on its part has set aside 4,000 acres of land for the project. This allows for adequate preparation for both immediate use and for future expansion. The implementation of the project is progressing satisfactorily. To date, we have concluded and completed the following. 1. Completion of the perimeter survey and all other requirements that will assist immediate accessibility to the site by the Consortium for Physical Development of Infrastructural Facilities of the Free Trade Zone. 2. We have signed MOU with the Chinese Consortium and the Lagos State Government on the development of Free Trade Zone. We have completed preliminary planning and design of the first phase of Lekki Free Trade Zone. We have ratified and gotten approval for the Free Trade Zone Agency by the Executive Council of the state, which has now been forwarded to the House of Assembly for ratification. The economic benefits deriving from this project are indeed enormous. It will boost international trade, create employment opportunities for thousands of Lagosians and Nigeria alike. Fourth, concessioning. The federal government of Nigeria, in pursuit of its privatization exercise, has listed some facilities in the seaport in Lagos for concessioning. Lagos State government, through our ministry, has applied to the Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, to own rights to some of these facilities. The Lagos State government believes that for the proposed infrastructural mitigation and enhancement strategy, there is need for a proactive collaborative strategy and synergy. A Lagos Port City master plan will incorporate Apapa, Greater Lagos Metropolis, Ogogoro Island, Snake Island, etc. In line with the above, we believe that Lagos State must be allowed to invest in the ongoing concession program. Lagos State will actively pursue an international maritime center status. Infrastructure and sanitation issues that affect the state, as well as the local government hosting the port, will be reviewed carefully. 250 professional associations with over 200,000 members have been identified and registered. My ministry has engaged the services of Mrs. Keynes Ventures Limited to provide identification cards for registered members of all associations. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to digress and elaborate a little on the critical position that SMEs, tradesmen and artisans occupy in our economy. Today, Lagos State remains the hub of business activities in Nigeria and indeed in the entire West African coast. Many of our graduates now find it difficult to find gainful employment. Still, many of them cannot start businesses of their own because of the many challenges that confront small and medium-scale businesses. These include inability to access finance, high cost of infrastructure. Government is convinced that to perform the economy of the state and to put it back on the path of accelerated growth and development, definitive strategies must be employed to boost the business activities of tradesmen and artisans and SMEs so as to enhance their contribution to the economy and their status within the economic landscape. Towards this end, my ministry has commenced studies on how these associations, individually and collectively, for instance, can be mobilized to establish an investable fund that will, one, cater for the welfare of the recognized members of these trade associations, two, develop and implement strategies that will further enhance the safe practice of artisans and improve their overall service delivery. We will collaborate with the National Business and Technical Examination Board, NAPTEP, to develop capacity building and sharpen the skills of the artisans.